Hey, this video is about how to mount the models on the articulator in centric protrusion. This little piece I'm holding is the one that comes from the arch where you calibrated the patient, had the patient bite on the bite impressions. So we do normally get from patient's mouth centric relation and retrusive bite. Next thing you do is you mount it to here. Your occlusal plane may not be necessarily parallel to the base. As you can see, this is a little angled, so that is being parallel is not a must. And you place that's a magnet, and you place white dental plaster, the cheapest you can get. Right now you see the space here. You're gonna fill it up with white plaster. I'm filming this video post factum, so that means I already done it. So I'm gonna switch it to a similar one and show you what I got. So that's what I got. After it is set, solidified, you unscrew it, loosen it up. This one, and also this one. This way you can retrieve it. These are your upper teeth. This is the articulator. Make sure your pin hits the bottom, the base in here. This should mirror, this should reflect on the bottom. So now again, I'm filming this video post factum. I already did that step. So how you do it is you align it. Then you use 2 to 3 rubber bands to stabilize your model. You basically wrap it like this. See how the rest could be shaky during the mounting. Stabilize it like this and hook over this plastic model, if it's plastic in your case. And then once it's set, you get one of those disposable platform bases. Now there's a separate magnet. The reason there's metal there is because there's magnet here. And this surface is penetrated because it is for adhesion, for higher surface tension. See? Magnetize it, locked, good. And then you kind of see if it's aligned, and once this is placed here with rubber bands on, right, to stabilize, you mix your white stone and you know, with cold water, mix it with spatula, and you put it on the base here. What I suggest is you take a burr, whether it is a lab burr or a diamond, and you make a few penetrations. Do not hurt the teeth, do not touch the teeth, in order to increase the adhesion surface. So you do little cuts everywhere on the angles along the margin, and little dips over there, like little penetrations. Alright, and this is what I got. I'm gonna remove this because this already has a base. It's just a different color. It's white. I'm gonna clean this up. rubber band for safety. What we're looking for is there's absolutely no gaps between the impression material and the plastic teeth. The next step will be to mount the lower model. So now we can get rid of all that. When it's mounted and it's confirmed, whether you work with a dentist, you confirm that position with a dentist. After the confirmation, you can dislodge it, dismount it, and break it, okay? Before the confirmation, do not untighten the screws. This is fixed, still in the same position as it was. This is why it is important not to touch this middle screw in order to be able to replicate the process again from the start. So we're only loosening up this one to remove it from the fork, and this one to remove it from the base fixture here. I'm gonna put it aside. As you can see, everything else is tight. Now we have this base to mount. We have another one of those disposable. See, penetrations. We have to mount the lower. And this is the most trickiest part, because there are so many things to idealize. So we do use for that the either vertical dimension of occlusion or protrusive bite, depending on what are you trying to achieve. I will be using an example of protrusive bite. One on the teeth number 8 and 9. I marked this one in red, meaning I know where I'm gonna place it. This is 2. Make sure it's sturdy. It doesn't go anywhere, so it's correct. Yep. You see how there is almost no details in the impression guide where the teeth are setting in. And I'm going to demonstrate to you. There is no very defined embrasure. You have to cut it off, and I use a scalpel for it. This is because the difference between natural teeth and the plastic teeth or plaster teeth is natural teeth can amorticize and the gum can be pushed away, and gum is being pushed away with whether it is PVS material you are pouring the stone from, or alginate, whatever. But the thing is, those are 3D printed plastic. It's firm and it's not going to distort. So for that reason, we do have to cut off with a scalpel those embrasures. But all you have to leave is really the tips of the cusps. So this way you still have the guidance and nothing is objectively on the way as far as embrasure, PVS, or any other bulges that can be distorted. Okay, I obviously smashed it. I always do that. And take and another one just in case. So let me put back. Once you place it there, you better be careful. Let me do one more trick here. There you go. I would mix the stone, put it here across, put it over here a lot, close it, and then finalize the shape. Sometimes I use a glove, wet gloves, or even my wet fingers, something I would like to manually work with. But for now, let's break it down and work with a multi-cuspation bite. One thing I noticed is that there is a space here because her lower left, so this is lower left, correct? Her lower left is touching on that distal buccal, I guess, cusp. We tighten that up, making sure it's stable, not rocking any millimeter. Just a reminder there, I already pre-made some penetration for the dental stone to adhere better. The lower plate is mounted. You and making sure it does close. And making sure the pin hits the base, not hitting anywhere else. If you are not hitting the base, you adjust it over here on this little one. Add the cold water, never the hot. My consistency now. I like placing it and shaping it with my bare hands, not gloved, just because I got used to it like that. However, I understand I will switch to the gloves one day because I don't want the whites under my fingernails. Okay, let's see that both here. With extra, I already prepared the base that I can use for future base to mount. This is something I use. That's just the making this area more abrasive. Closing all the way in. Now you either do it with a spatula. Make sure it doesn't go to the teeth. However, if it does, if it's a stone model, that's a problem. If it's a plastic model, later that stone can be removed from the plastic teeth. But still, it's better to make it ideal at first. So take your time. Don't make it ugly. Don't leave it ugly to set up. Now at this point, I want to use a few more rubber bands. I don't need any extra movement. You can also use one of the trimmers in the lab, of the lab equipment. Like this one. Or hand one to trim it down a little bit. That's probably something I will do. It's important to wear the lab coat, so in case you need to see the patient, you can remove it. After your stone completely sets, you do clean it up. Do it with a lab knife. You do it with whatever sharp instrument you have. Once it's approved, we will be painting with a red Sharpie the cusps to see where we should adjust. After you use the Sharpie, and the reason we put it in red because once you adjust the cusps, so you design your cusps and you might adjust before patient comes in, pre-occlusion adjustment on the model first, and then in patient's mouth if needed. Once you shave it down in here, the red disappears and only the stone color shows up, so this way you know it is exactly there where it's marked. Otherwise, if you don't paint, you will have no markers. Obviously, you have to know where the balancing cusps are, where the working cusps. However, I suggest you paint all across. You don't have to do cervical from both sides because they would never occlude Then you place a pin. See how I put the initials of the patient on the model real big. So this way I don't violate HIPAA. You place your pin, but you don't tighten it yet. Flip it down. The one angle I set here is 25 degrees. There will be another video that shows the explanation of Dr. K on my channel, so go ahead and watch that.